Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Suzette, also known as the Primitive Stitcher. Thank you for joining me today. If you are a return viewer, thanks for stopping by again. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I hope you enjoy our time together today. So what have I been up to these last, 4 weeks or so since my last video? Life has been busy. School started back and that's going well. I am with 8 or 9 different students during the day depending on which day it is, but I'm enjoying my time with each and every one of them, but they are keeping me on my toes. Clearly I am drinking from the well of Jimmy FlossTube, and I just watched his most recent video. I think he posted maybe three or so days ago. He has more shirts if you're interested. He cracks me up. I thoroughly enjoy his videos. What else is new? Oh my goodness. Okay, I have a short story to tell before we get started on my stitching stuff. A couple of weeks ago, my oldest daughter, who is an assistant principal here in town at one of the schools, stopped by after work. She and my grandson stopped by to look at a bicycle that I had purchased last fall and had never done anything with. It was in need of some repairs, and she and my son-in-law and my grandson love to go for bike rides, and she's found herself in need of a new bicycle and thought that, you know, maybe she could take mine and get it fixed and use it. So we were headed downstairs to take a look at it, and she spotted a bag of Skittles, which is my candy of choice, and she's like, "Oh, can I have some?" So I'm like, sure, go ahead. So she grabs, you know, a little handful, and we're headed down the stairs, and I hear her starting to cough. And I turn around and she's doing this, and I started to panic. She was panicking, I was panicking. So I get behind her and I start doing the Heimlich. Now mind you, it has been at least 23 years since I had my last Red Cross first aid course. And I am attempting to do the Heimlich, but you know, I am 5'2" on a good day, and she's a bit taller than I am, and I'm doing what I remembered I'm supposed to do. It's not working. My little grandson, who is 9, he's starting to panic, which makes me, you know, frantic, more frantic. I'm doing what I think I'm supposed to be doing. It's not working. I've attempted like maybe 2 or 3 times. It's not working. She still can't breathe. And I'm scanning around for a chair, and the joke in my family is I have a million chairs, and I do, but can I find one in that moment? No. So I'm like, okay, I've got to just like give it my all. I was afraid I was hurting her, but clearly I wasn't in the right position, or I wasn't pulling up hard enough. So I'm just like, okay, I've got to just do this. So I gave it one last good, you know, attempt, and sure enough, out flies this wad of chewed Skittles. She's okay. It was the scariest thing that I think I have ever encountered in my life. I was very fortunate when my children were young. We didn't have broken bones. We didn't have too many stitches. But you think, you know, you want to be prepared as a young mom to know how to do these things. Never did I anticipate that I would be needing to do this for my children as adults. So I guess the reason I'm telling you this story is take a first aid course, whether it's through the Red Cross or whoever, it's worth every moment of your time. It's worth whatever it costs, because you never know when you're going to need to help someone, whether it's, you know, a loved one or a total stranger. It turned out good in this situation, but it just made me realize I need to update my first aid training. Anyway, like I said, it was scary. I'm so thankful that it turned out the way it did. It could have gone a lot worse. Okay, so that's my PSA announcement for today. Before we get started, because I often forget to do this, and I apologize that I forget to do this. There's so many new people making videos. It's wonderful to see all the new people. I'm so far behind on videos, but I do want to mention a few that I have gotten to watch lately. And if you're not one of them, I'm sorry. I wish I could shout out everyone that I watch, but I would be here a long time. All right, so without further ado, the first person I want to shout out is Heidi Cran. Heidi has been a long-time viewer of mine, and I'm so excited that she's finally decided to make videos. I think she has posted 3 videos so far. Heidi is in Canada, and she does beautiful, beautiful stitching. But in addition to that, she has shared some pieces that are from her grandmother, and absolutely beautiful works of art. And I think she's also going to soon share some that her grandfather did, and I'm looking forward to that. So Heidi, it's good to see you on FlossTube, and I hope that you continue to make videos for us to enjoy. The next one is Lorraine, also known as Rags to Stitches USA. And Lorraine has also been a longtime viewer of mine, and I was excited to see her make videos. And she and I have very similar stitching taste. She does some beautiful work. She had a scary situation recently on a flight from Michigan back to Atlanta, and I'm so happy that it turned out in the positive for you, Lorraine, but I can't imagine how frightened you all were on that flight. So I encourage you all to go watch Lorraine at Rags to Stitches USA. And then the last one, she made a video a while back, and I meant to shout her out then, and she's just recently made her second one. A very sweet lady named April, who is in the UK, and her channel name is April, May, June. And again, she has very similar stitching taste to mine. She has a sweet, lovely, soft voice that I could listen to all day. Beautiful stitching. So please go check April, May, June out as well. And just welcome to all the other new FlossTubers. It gets easier. I think the first one is the hardest. Starting your videos and ending your videos, I think, is the hardest part of it, but just know that we've all been there before, and it does get easier. Okay, so now, I did have a few finishes this month. My first one is one that I started, oh my goodness, over a year ago, I think. It's called Coffin Buzz. It's a free one from Paulette at Plum Street Samplers. And I don't know why it took me so long to finish this. Maybe just because I had so many other things that I wanted to start, but here you go, the finish on that. And this is done on an even weave that I hand dyed and hand stamped myself. Not sure how I'm going to fully finish it, but we'll save that for another day. My second finish, it was a start and a finish this month. I had purchased this after the Nashville market, and I don't know how I feel about it. It's a lovely stitch. If I had it to do over again, I'm not sure I would have purchased it for the price. I'm not sure it was worth it. That's a horrible thing to say. It was expensive for what it is, but I do like it, and I love the design. It's called Ode to the Ork Basket by With Thy Needle and Thread. Here's the finish. I painted it with the paint that Brenda recommended. I finished it off with a hinge, and it's cute, it's adorable. I do like it. Was it worth 30 bucks? I don't know. I was a bit disappointed in the basket. I had to sand the basket down quite a lot. It was rough. I just felt like the basket wasn't very well made, or as well made as I had anticipated it to be. But anyway, there you have it. Then my next finish, I think I had shown the patterns for these in my previous video. They are also by With Thy Needle and Thread. The first one is called Be Merry. Oh, I also made project bags, which I will show as we go along. I went through a sewing kit. This one is just lined with white, but this is my first finish. Be Merry, With Thy Needle and Thread. These are going to be my Christmas ornaments for this year. And there we have the first one. And then I also started and finished Be Frosty. And these are a quick stitch. So there's Be Frosty. I am going to be using some more of Brenda's designs to make other ones. It's just a matter of testing them to see if they will be the same size. So there is that. I think that's all of my finishes for this month. But there is the project bag for that one. Then, okay, this video is kind of going to be no particular order. You got time for that. What I decided to do as I was making the project bags, and I think I probably made 10 or 12 project bags this month, I decided to put together a whip list. I knew I had a lot of whips. I didn't realize I had quite as many as what it turned out to be. But I put them all down on a list, and I have currently 42 whips, which may not be a lot for some people and may just be a ridiculous amount for others. I'm not too worried about the number of whips that I have, apart from the fact that I love them all and I would like to have them out and about, up on the walls, whatever. So I kind of decided, a first for me, to do a type of rotation. And it's kind of a mix between what some other stitchers do. I've put them all in alphabetical order. My plan at the moment is to pull them out in that order Monday through Friday, work on them at least 2 days each, which are only 5 days, Monday through Friday, so it'll carry over until Saturday, or part of Saturday, depending. I mean, I'm going to be very flexible with this. Like one day I worked 3 days on one and 2 days on the next, just so that I can touch, you know, that I know that I'm eventually going to touch every whip that I have. But then on the weekends, I can either continue on going alphabetically, or I'm going to allow myself to stitch on whatever I want, like the Christmas ornaments, or if I have a sal, or the last week I worked on Santa Sunday. So we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping that it will be a positive experience for me, because in the past I have been strictly stitch on what I feel like stitching on, and if that means I stitch on it for 2 weeks, then I stitch on it for 2 weeks. But I just want to make some progress on all of my whips instead of just on a few. So that being said, I'll show you what I worked on last Sunday for Santa Sunday, and it's project bag. Basically, I used, for the most part, fabric that I already had, but then I did go and buy some new fabric, and I probably have 10 or 12 more bags cut out to stitch. Crazy, I know. So this one is in Santa Claus Lane, another with the needle and thread. I started this in for Mania, one of my Mania starts, and I think when I first, sorry, pieces were falling. When I picked this back up, I had his face and his hat done. So on Sunday, I started on his jacket and got that complete on Sunday. And I'm stitching this on a 40 count. It is a piece that I got from Vicki Clayton. I coffee or walnut stained it myself. So there we have that. Let's see, the inside of this one is like this. And I just do, I buy these wooden tags and I paint them with chalkboard paint, and then I write the name of the project on it, pin it on, and that way when I'm finished I can just erase the chalk and use it again. So we have that, and sorry, I dropped some floss out of the bag. So there is that one. And the one that I'm going to work on today when we finish up is in this bag. And it is called Santa's Workshop, out of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher, and will look like this when complete. And this was another Mania start, and it should be a quick stitch. This is where I am right now, and this is on 36 count linen, just a piece I had, and again, coffee, walnut stain, one of the two, maybe both, on that one. So I'll be, maybe have a finish from that today. Okay, what else? So in my, let me see what my first, where did I have that one? I don't even, the first whip that I started on that I didn't bring in was the 1803 Judith Townsend Quaker sampler, and it is not in a project bag right now, I don't think. If I come across it, I'll show it later. Then the next one that I worked on was my Adam and Eve. It's in this bag. I love this one. And it is by the Primitive Needle. And I started this one. This was a Mania start as well. And when you last saw this, I was not even finished with the dark green in the grass. So I finished that and then went on. And look at Eve. This poor girl is all kinds of trouble. Her hair is crazy. Her body is one color. She's used sunblock on her face, obviously, because it's like ghost white. And then she's got some boob trouble going on. But I just decided to leave it because it's quirky. I love it. I really enjoyed working on this. And I didn't want to put it down, but I'm going to stick to my rotation. So I worked on that for 2 days. And the inside of this one is just polka dots because I'm crazy about polka dots. Then the next one that I worked on was my Heaven and Earth. Trailing threads here. I had not picked this up in over a year. And when I was making my project bags and putting things into them, that's kind of what sparked my desire to do a rotation, is because I had not picked this up in over a year. And I love this, but it just got pushed to the back, kept getting pushed to the back. So it is called A Real Snow Job. Well, sorry for the glare, but it is what it is. It's by Jane Wooster Scott. This is the mini version. And I put 800 stitches in, which would be this row right here. So it's slow going, a lot of confetti, but getting it back out reminded me of how much I do love it. And it will be a while before it comes back into the rotation, but again, I didn't want to put it down, but needs must. And then after that, yesterday is when I picked up my Christmas ornaments, and I finished up Be Frosty on that. Prior to deciding to do this rotation, though, I did work on a couple of things. Pepper Cricket Farm, Charles Wysocki, Dimensions. It wasn't a kit. It was just this. And I'm not going to put the border around this. But I had kind of, because it's uneven weave, because I'm doing it 2/2, it's just an easy one. It was an easy one for me to pick up when my eyes were tired. And so the last time you saw this, this was also a Mania start. I had just, I think, completed this part. So it's going to be difficult for you to see, but I filled in some of the ecru here on it and completed that. And I might, in the morning after I get ready for work and I have a few minutes before I have to leave, that's when I was just picking this up and putting a few stitches into that. And I might continue that as we go about. I also worked on, I think this, I did this for Dark 13 stitching, and it's in this project bag. I think this is vintage fabric. I was trying to remember, you know, I have this huge fabric stash, and I was trying to remember where I got it. And if I recall, back when I went to an estate sale when I lived in New Mexico in 2007, I think I got this fabric there, and I didn't know what I was going to do with it, but I saw it and I thought it would make a good project bag. So this is called Kindred Spirits. It is by The Primitive Needle. I'm stitching this with the Classic Colorworks Belle Soie silks. And on either 36 or 40 count doubloon. I think the last time you saw this, I had stitched to over here. So on the 13th, I just continued up the border. Needle minders are from Etsy. Pork chop show. I always want to say pork chop shop. Pork chop show on Etsy. Then I did have, again, prior to my rotation, a new start. Mercy Good Heart Sampler by Shakespeare's Peddler. Someone showed this as a finish on, I think it was Stitch Mania. I fell in love, had to have, loved every minute of working on this so far, but this is how far I've gotten. And I'm using NPI silks and stitching this on 36 count vintage exemplar by Lakeside Linen. Needle minders, also from Scott on Etsy. So we have that. Unfortunately, she is number 25 on the rotation list, so it's going to be a while before I get to her. Okay, so I have a few purchases that I will show as we go along. Next project bag. I purchased this fabric from an Etsy seller a few months back, and I don't remember who it's from, but it's out of the Edwardian, it's the line, the Edwardian Ladies Journal, something like that. It was taken from that line of fabric, and I just fell in love with it. And I have been searching for an egg pattern, and I can't remember what I was looking for. Oh, I do remember. I was looking for like a free online alphabet, and this site, I found it, and over to this on the sidebar, it had this, and I do not have a good photo of it. Oh wait, there it is. I think, well, I don't know. They're not in the US. And I paid in euros. So they're somewhere in Europe, but I don't know where. It's called stitchingpoint.com. I'm sorry, stitchpoint.com. And this photo does not do it justice. But I have this, and I don't know when I'll start it. I don't know when I'm going to allow myself a new start. Not yet, but I saw it. I've been looking for something similar to this for a long time, and I just decided to go ahead and purchase it. And like I said, it was a PDF. So keep that in mind. My printer is not the best. So stitchpoint.com is where I found it. It was reasonably priced. So this is the inside of the bag, just the same fabric as I have on the outside. And my lovely little bird zip. My next project bag that I made. And the inside, same fabric as the outside on that one too. Next one is fabric from my stash. More fabric from my stash. What's in here? Oh, my Salem Remembered piece is in here. Next one. And me and my polka dots. I need to paint up more tags for these. This fabric I got at Goodwill, and it was just a small piece, but I fell in love with it, and I used every bit that I could for this. And then this again is some fabric that I got in that same estate sale, so it could be vintage or not. And this one just has a white lining. That houses my schoolhouse sampler from Brenda, and I have not started on the second or third installment of that. Love this fabric. And more polka dots. And a force screw is going in there, but I just haven't gotten to that yet. This is probably one of my very favorite ones. I love these birds. And this one has the same fabric on the inside as what's on the outside. And this one houses my vintage birds, which I'm anxious to get back to, but it's way down on the list. Another one of my favorites is this one. And this fabric I got from the Fat Quarter Shop. I think I showed it in a previous. Also, what this fabric down here, Fat Quarter Shop, this Walmart. And inside is again the same. And my little umbrella zip. Oh, this fabric I've had for a very long time. I want to say it probably was back in the 90s. And the inside is a very pale, got snowflakes on it. And the last two, I may have already shown this. Again, some older fabric that I had. Decided to finally use it up. The inside is just a dark, and it's got like chicken feet on it. This was like one of my very first project bags that I stitched, and just kind of to test out if I could get the dimensions correct. And then Coffee Quaker, you guys have seen this one before. I added the zipper pull, the little coffee cup, and this fabric I've had for a very long time too. Okay, so that's what has kept me busy this last month. I do have some items to share with you that I purchased. I saw Stitcherista, and you know what? I've watched Din Kai for a long time, and I just never bit the bullet and ordered from her. But Stitcherista Danielle showed, I think it was this needle minder, and I'm like, I gotta have that. I love coffee, and I needed this in my life. And then I saw this one and felt like I couldn't live without this one. And here is her Charisse, her information. And she also sent this adorable purple M&M and love hearts. I ate these when I lived in the UK, and I've been saving them to savor them, make them last. So thank you, Charisse. Excellent service, and she packages them so beautifully. Okay, my absolute favorite place to shop online, Etsy, obviously, is from my friend Jen, and I just noticed today she has a new video up. I was wondering how you were doing, Jennifer, but I knew university starting back, you were probably crazy busy with that. As soon as I finish this video, I'm going to go watch hers and catch up with you. But this is from Jen's Stitching Niche, and like, I need another series, but I decided to go with the Loose Feathers for the Birds series, and I needed number 2, and she had this in her shop. I also bought number 3 somewhere laying around here, but I didn't pull it out. It's gonna go in my someday stitching basket. I bought a couple of pieces of fabric from her as well, and I think that I've totally lost my mind, but I've wanted this, and this is in my stitching bucket list to try at some point in my life. This is 55 count. It's called Kingston. 55 count linen. I don't know what I'm going to stitch on it yet. I'm going to find something before I die. And hopefully very soon, before my eyesight gets any worse than it already is. But as usual, Jen included a limited edition. So thank you, Jen. Always appreciate that. And in this lovely purple envelope, which was kind of a joy to see in my mailbox one day. Okay, what else did I buy? Oh, another shop that I really have enjoyed lately is the Cottage Needle. Again, excellent customer service. I've been getting my summer schoolhouse from her, and I've always wanted to stitch a Teresa Kugo, or Kugut. I don't know how you say her name, and I'm sorry, Teresa, if I've mispronounced that, but I fell in love with this guy, so he came home. And then a new needle minder. You know my love of bees, so I needed to have that. So we have that, and oh, this is the next design that I'm going to try to use on my ornaments. I just loved Santa and his candy cane. I thought he was adorable, and I think I can make him work for that. Of course, I got my beautiful threads from Victoria Motto Sampler Shop. Beautiful colors this time around again. And check out her blog. She is always doing giveaways. Nancy is like the most giving person I think I know. I ordered a couple of things from Brenda's shop. This was one. I'm trying to remember what the other one was. I can't remember now, but this was one. Country Stitches is Brenda Gervais' website. And then I ordered this. And it's supposed to be an ornament, but it's beeswax. And it smells so good. So I got that. Then from, I can't remember if it was Little Stitches or, I don't remember which website I got these off, but they're by Lady Dot Creates. And I'm not gonna use these to condition my thread. These are decorative only for me. And then I had one of these years and years ago that I got in New Hampshire, and I think on one of our moves, it was in the, it seemed like we always moved in the hottest months of the year. And I think I opened up a box and it was all melty. And so when I saw this, I'm like, oh, I used to have one of those. So I had to get another, again from Lady Dot Creates, Busy Hive. So, and I love the smell of beeswax. So they're just cute things to sit around. And then I think from her, oh yeah, I just picked up a couple of things. Bright and Merry, which I'm probably just going to take Santa and the reindeer and try to put that as an ornament. And then from Plum Street Samplers, I thought he would be cute on the snow globe ornament too. So we're going to see if he will fit. And that is all from that one. And then I don't know, I saw this on a couple of different websites, ordered it along with a couple of other things because, you know, no chart can travel alone. And then, you know, a few days later, I got an email saying, oh, that one's out of stock, sorry. So my poor charts did travel alone. But I finally found it somewhere. I can't remember. I think it's Stitches and Things. And it's called Abigail Colby's Extract Sampler, A Cheerful Mind. And I ordered as well, it calls for Classic Colorworks Espresso. So I ordered that. And another sampler that I can't wait to stitch, but I will have to wait because no new starts for a while. Famous last words. And then this was on crazy ridiculous sale price. By Chelsea and Me. So I picked that up as well. And it is called Needlebook of Stitches. And that's what the front looks like. It doesn't look like anything special. But on the inside, you do all these different specialty stitches. And so I thought that would be fun to have. So that is also a someday I will stitch that up. And then last but not, oh wait, I do have a couple more things. Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher was having a back issue sale, and I thought that I had every one of them. But as I was looking through to make sure that I still had them, I realized that I didn't have the fall 2000, what year is this? 16 issue. I think that my subscription had ended and I hadn't realized it. And so then by the time that I subscribed, it was between issues, and so I was missing this issue. So I got this issue at 50% off, and there are some beautiful pieces in here, as always. So I got that, and then of course I got the new fall issue for 2017 in my regular subscription. And I think Stitcherista has already done a flip through of this, but I'll just show a couple of my favorites. I love these squirrels. And this one. Oh, the squirrels were by, it's called Acorn Sampler, and it's by Nikki, by Nikki's Creations. And this one is by Esther Marjanovic Sub Rosa, called Good Witch Sampler Pillow, that I really liked. So there is that. I also picked up, and I'm sorry, I've forgotten who recommended this to me. I'm so sorry. I was talking about, I think in my last video, how I want to do a conversion of Lazy Bear Mountain into a morning sampler. And one of my subscribers, and again, I apologize. You meant to write your name down. I'm getting old and forgetful already. She recommended this book, American Needlework Treasures, and it's by Betty Ring. Basically, it is samplers out of her private collection. There are no patterns in here. It's all just showing the samplers, and it gives quite a bit of detail about the samplers. But in the back, there are several morning samplers, and they're just amazing. Every page is full like this of samplers from her collection. So interesting to read about. And it just, I know this before I read it, but I'm constantly amazed at the young girls that did some of this work. It's like, if only, I mean, I've been stitching forever, and I will never have anything this good. And it just blows my mind that these young girls stitched these beautiful, beautiful pieces. And did not have the benefit of magnifiers or art lights like we do. So I would, you know, if you're interested in the history of samplers, I would highly recommend this book. Again, American Needlework Treasures, Samplers and Silk Embroideries from the collection of Betty Ring. And I got it on Amazon, I believe. So thank you for that recommendation. I could spend hours upon hours reading through that. And last but not least, my Picture This Plus order came in. Don't get excited. There's no wild and crazy colors here. If you've watched me for a while, you know I like the dull, drab, subdued colors. But I got several pieces of 40 count and 36 count. So let me just quickly go through. I'll show you 36 count Legacy. You've all seen it before. 36 count Dapple. A beautiful gray. Let's see here, let me go through 36 count Sand. .36 count Earthen, which has a more of a pink tint to it than I thought. I've had Earthen before, and I don't think my other Earthen red as pink as this one does. I think the rest are 40 count. Yes. So a 40 count Legacy. 40 count Mellow. .40 count Doubloon. Again, you guys have seen these before. 40 count Ale. Love, love, love this one. I love them all. Who am I kidding? And 40 count Wren. So just some really basic colors because that's what I am, who I am. Just the basics. Nothing wild and crazy with the primitive stitcher. So there you have it. That should last me a while. But like I've said, no more new starts for a while, so I should be good for until next July 25th, right? Okay, I think that's it. Like I said, I'm going to be stitching on Santa's Workshop today, and then next on my list for tomorrow will be a Stitcher Sampler, which was a piece that I was gifted, the pattern by Hedgerow Stitching, and it is from the Primitive Hare, and it has the bees across it. That's on my calendar for tomorrow and Tuesday. Then we'll go into a Tisket a Tasket, which I believe is, it's either Plum Street Sampler or With Thy Needle and Thread. And finally, toward the end of the week, and a Forest Screw. And because that one will be at the end of the week, I may carry it over into Saturday. I have missed stitching on that, and I'm anxious to get back to it, especially since Lindy Stitches has finished hers. I'm so jealous. I can't remember. I probably have mentioned I saw that piece finished at Dying to Stitch in Virginia Beach, and bought the pattern on the spot and was petrified of the pattern for years. I think I bought the pattern in 2010, maybe? I have to look and see when it came out. But 2010 is when I finally decided to bite the bullet at Dying to Stitch and buy it. And I didn't start it until when? Last year, or 2000, maybe 2015 or 2016. So I'm anxious to get back to that and stitch a few more trees. So until next time, I will be busy stitching away alphabetically, and we'll see how it goes. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, enough for now. I hope you all have a wonderful stitching weekend, and I look forward to seeing you in your videos. And thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. So until next time, happy stitching. Bye for now.